Common sense is important. For example, if you're performing a task that's generating a lot of dust, or if you're welding and breathing welding fumes, you know you need a respirator. But there are also state and federal regulations that can help you decide when else you might need a respirator. The two main regulatory standards that provide guidance are OSHA's Agricultural Standard Part 700 and the EPA Worker Protection Standard. Let's tackle the OSHA standard first. Part 700 applies to all employers and says that respirators should be provided by the employer if certain airborne levels of contaminants such as dusts, aerosols, gases, vapors, or mists are exceeded and are unable to be controlled via other means. The standard also requires the proper selection and use of respirators, topics which are covered by other videos in this series. Although Part 700 has specific airborne limits for many different compounds and substances, one limit of importance on farms is the limit on inert or nuisance particles, including some used frequently in agricultural settings, such as powdered limestone or calcium carbonate. Though it can be difficult to visually judge whether a particular task or process leads to an airborne level of any contaminant over these limits without a direct measurement of the air concentration, if you are performing work where you suspect one of these compounds may be in the air, or work that produces a visibly large amount of dust or mist, the use of a respirator should be considered. The second regulatory standard requiring the use of a respirator is the Environmental Protection Agency's Worker Protection Standard, or WPS, which applies to anyone, including the farm owner, who works on a farm and might be mixing, handling, applying, or otherwise exposed to pesticides. The WPS states that whenever a pesticide label, such as the one seen here, says that a respirator is required, that a proper respirator is provided alongside training, medical evaluation, and fit testing. One exception to the WPS standard for respirators occurs when the applicator is applying pesticide from inside an enclosed cab. If a particulate filter respirator is normally required for the handling of this pesticide, the respirator is not required to be worn inside the cab as long as the cab has a properly functioning air ventilation system. If any other type of respirator is required, it must still be worn inside the cab. See the video on selecting a respirator for more information on the different types of respirators. If you are unsure whether or not a respirator would be required in your case, you can contact Michigan State University Extension, who will be able to assist you in further identifying your respirator requirements. Click any of the links above to learn more about respirator use in agricultural settings.